Hello everyone, right, so we've got the camera mounted. So second video, hopefully you've watched the first one. I'm going to actually make a start and I'm going to pull the seat off, all the plastics off, the rear number plate off, the rear light off, and I'm going to start to remove some of the plastics underneath, some of the wiring, and I'm actually thinking of going all out and maybe starting to cut the frame. I'm going to wrap the bike in sheets to protect it, and then I'm just going to cut metal whilst it's all in one piece. I'm not stripping it down. I'm not actually I'm not painting the frame either. So where I weld on the new frame onto the old frame, it's actually going to be a colour change. It's going to go from grey to a different shade of grey, which hopefully I can mask and do a decent job. In the future, maybe get the whole frame powder coated, but for now, budget, time scale, I'm just going to have a new coat of paint where I've welded it, basically. So I'm just going to relocate the camera, pull this back end off, and then I'll keep doing like some time-lapse video, talk to you, time-lapse video, talk to you, because it's easy to edit. Right. Put the camera there. Let's see what we find. Also, I've taken a lot of pictures of all of it, and some like side angle pictures, so I'll be able to see how it changes shape from standard to scrambler style, cafe style bike. Also, I've got some boxes on the floor that you can't see. Let's turn the camera. Got some boxes which all the parts going into there, but saying that a lot of these parts that are coming off will not be going back on. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so just pause the time lapse there. So the bits that have come off so far, been nice and easy so far. Yeah, so bit of rust, but it all seems fine. It's come apart nice and easy. Mechanism for the seat. I've just stopped to talk to you because I'm gonna have to. These are the wires for the indicators, and that is actually like a push fit connector, but it's seized, and I know that if I rag it, I'm just going to break the wires. So I'm going to actually label them up, left hand, right hand, and then I'm probably just going to cut them, and they're going to have to be resoldered for the new indicators. I'm going to get hopefully some stylish LED tiny indicators that look really good, but are not really very practical. But anyway, oops, daisy. Sorry, I keep looking at the back instead of looking at the camera, so I don't know. Obviously need to not let that break. A lot more wires than I thought maybe there would be. So it's going to be a nice challenge to relocate these maybe further back here. And then I can get like a 1960s oval scrambler race bike number plate, or like a number 12, whatever, not an actual rear number plate. So I might have to do that just to cover some of this. The battery and the airbox are probably going to stay where they are. Maybe in the future get one of those miniature batteries, but anyway, I think that's brand new according to the previous owner, so, and they're quite expensive, so I don't want to chuck that away. But I might have to pull the tank. Actually, I will definitely pull the tank off once I've got this a bit more stripped down. I'm not going to cut any metal with a tank on. That's quite silly. Yeah, that's what you can see. I've had this about a year and I barely used it. the first time I used it, the mechanism broke. And what a pain in the ass while getting it fixed. So I think my recommendation with these is, this is a Sealy. And I bet they're all made at the same factory, they all look similar. I don't think the mechanism's that strong, so I wouldn't rag this about. I'd loosen a bolt and then use this. That's just my advice, because that one's been fragile. Definitely fragile as that one. Some more wires on this side, some nice bit of rust there. Definitely gonna have to, yeah, I'm pretty confident I can relocate that fuel tap. Put it somewhere else. Saying that though, if it's part of the fuel tank, which it most definitely is, maybe I can't. Anyway, blabbering on. Right, put the camera back on the tripod and do some more work. So it's coming apart really nicely. All that plastic's off. Disconnected all the little tie wraps for the cables. And yeah, so far so good. I'm actually tempted, looking at the shape of it, this top bar up to about here, it looks like the perfect shape already really. So I'm actually thinking of disconnect these components, pull the wires out of the way. I might take the fuel tank off. I probably should take it off. And I'm thinking of, it's 9 o'clock, I've got neighbours to think about, but I might just cut that off and maybe just cut there and then do a test fit with the seat and just see if it's got the right look, the right shape. Because I want the seat to be as level as possible when the bike's on the ground in like a neutral position with the suspension. Because if I can reuse this part of the frame straight out of the bag, that's so much less work for me, which is great. Yeah, so I think I'm going to just do that now right quick. You can see down here a lot of rust. The battery was actually loose. The battery was not strapped in, so I might have to just sort of fabricate a nice little new bracket and just make it all nice and neat. Like I said previously, I'm going to repaint all this. I'll grind back the rust, paint it up and make it look nice and neat and tidy. I want to get the exhaust off, but the exhaust is one piece all the way into the bike up to the cylinder head, and yeah, I don't want to break any bolts, but it has to come off eventually, so I might take off, I might not, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, let's get grinder out, let's cut some metal, and let's try the seat again. So as you can see, I've gone pretty crazy with saw. Foot peg, passenger foot peg's gone, bracket's gone, this rear loop's gone. I was just about to cut this off, and then I realised it's holding the exhaust on, so the exhaust needs to come off, which I might not do yet. But let's do a test fit with the seat. Let's just see how good or bad this looks. Yeah, so I've got definitely need to think about this fitment here. Maybe I can, yeah, need to think about that. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, but that's the look we're going for. Needs a bit of work, but we'll get in there. Definitely get in there. need to just maybe take a lot of pictures and go away and think about styling and shapes and what's going to go where. But we're certainly making some good progress. Yeah, it'd be nice to get this off, get that off, because I want it to be really sort of minimalistic. But it is a shame that just doesn't fit on there. It might be that I have to cut this. Yeah, it might be that I have to cut this part of the frame and bring it closer together so that it goes under the seat. Because it'd be really nice to get this part of the seat down to the tank. But yeah, okay, so let me take the camera off, have some ideas, and then I might carry on. I might call it a day for this video, but let's just wait and see. Right, so just finish off this video. I have pulled off this little chrome bracket, and then I've pulled off the plastic chain cover, and I think it looks a lot better without it. Found lots of seized Allen head bolts. Fucking hate Allen head bolts, cap head screws, whatever they're called. These two here, seized solid. These two seized. Yeah, so that's going to be a bit of a pain, but I'll have to just find a way. I've covered all these big bolts in WD-40. Hopefully they'll come loose and are not seized, because all that wants painting. I'm going to grind these off and paint the swing arm and weld on some brackets underneath for the new chain guide. Obviously grind all this back, grind that off. All that's going to get painted. There's going to be a new rear end on it. Little mudguard light still to be decided. Airbox is always going to be there, so I might try and maybe paint it or just clean it up. This little electronic box, not too sure what it does. Maybe I could extend the wires and put that under there, lay it flat under there maybe, or I just leave it there and I can just do some kind of plate over the side here, maybe a mesh or aluminium checker plate painted black, or leave it on show. No, it looks a bit crap leaving it on show, but this side, not really touched it, but here, this chrome plate, this chrome plate holds the brake cylinder, so I'm thinking of, I might just cut it down here, do a nice straight cut, deburr it, and paint that black, and at least it's still protecting the piston a little bit. Get rid of all this, don't need all that. Yep, you've seen all that before. I tried to get the exhaust off, but these more cap head screws, they're about to round off. Allen head cap head screws. I've covered them in WD-40. I'm going to leave them overnight, and it might be that I need to get some heat into them to try and break them loose, or weld something onto the cap head to break it loose. Not too sure, but I'm going to have to get them off without damaging the engine. So that'll be fun. Up here, I've taken off the plastic windscreen, whatever you want to call it, and I've taken off the mirrors, and it just gives it a much better look. So it's starting to take shape now. I'm quite happy with it. Obviously, once I get the parts, new handlebars will be on there. Smaller front mudguard should look better. I've also ordered some the rubber gaiters, I think they're called, to cover there. And I maybe need some to cover there because I don't want chrome. Or maybe I'll wrap that, not sure, but I want to cover that chrome. And I was going to paint the light, but I don't know. Yeah, paint the light. Yeah, leave it. It just seems a bit big and bulky, but right. Anyway, that is the part 2 of this video series. Pretty happy with progress. So we'll see you next time.